Welcome everyone to our 2020 Virtual Women Build Kickoff. We are so happy to have you all here. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedules. I am certain, as everybody is right now, that we are all balancing a lot of things in our lives. And wherever you are calling in from or watching from, we are so grateful to have your energy and your time today, and really excited to talk about something that Greta and I both love, which is Women Build. So I just want to say thank you. And again, if for some reason we miss you, if you drop off the call, if anything, we'll be recording this. If you're watching the recording and you have questions, there'll be time for you to ask at the end, or you can send me an email and we can get those answered for you. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you all to this year's chair of the 2020 Women Build, Miss Gretta Nance.
That was way too much of a build-up. Thank you.
You need fanfare. I wish I had pom-poms.
I remember when you asked and I thought it was a joke. Like, I was like, I'm one of the worst people out there on the build trying to figure it out. I didn't quite understand why you asked, but I think that maybe I'm the perfect spokesperson for that. It seems scary. I did it anyway. I still don't know what I'm doing, but it's a lot of fun, and it has definitely become like my favorite experience. And I can tell when I'm gone like a year without a build, like there's just something so cool about it. And then specifically to get to do it just with women is like the coolest thing. So thank you guys for continuing to put this on. And I'm so glad we still decided to do it, even though this year is a little different.
It is a little different, but not any less important than any other years. In fact, I think this year has proven to us that access to safe and affordable housing is more critical than ever. I think back in March when we were kind of starting to shut everything down and talking about, kind of where this goalpost of when this would all be over with was going to be, we all kind of had to stop, like, yeah, we'll get through the spring and then the summer will be here and then we'll be back to the build sites. And it is October, it's almost November, and we are still in this really tumultuous, crazy time. And so, I know personally, I am so grateful to have safe, affordable housing over my head. I'm sure you are too, Greta. So it means so much more to our home buyers and their families and to the people of Wake-Johnson County that we're able to do this and support them in this way, and be a little nimble, come together and have some fun at the same time. So thank you for agreeing to be our chair. Thank you for agreeing to be your genuine, vulnerable, kick butt self. We are so happy to have you.
I am really honored because I'm excited to kind of tell how I got into it. But even last year's Women's Build, I had so many women reach out to me beforehand and be like, I'll do it if you do it, because I'm scared and intimidated. And a lot of people a lot of people did come and build. It was, how many people usually build on that day? 100 or so?
We had about 100, 120 out that day. Yeah.
But there have been a lot of people who are like, hey, I still want to get involved, but I want to do it as a group. And so I think this could be actually a great way to fundraise and get to share and meet new people all together. And then hopefully in the spring, go out and actually get a chance to manually see the fruits of our labor. And like, that's the best part. Like, I don't know, we all know how it feels to have a safe, secure home during crazy times like this. It's so easy to look at that person who's getting that for the first time and be like, oh, this is why I'm doing this.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Cool. So why don't you tell everybody, I know how you got involved with Habitat, but I think your story is so inspiring and it resonates with me. I would love for you to share it with everybody and kind of explain like what got you into the Habitat family.
Yeah, well, I'm embarrassed to say I didn't get into it near soon enough. Like, I've known people who have been obsessed with it for years, like either through church or some kind of youth group that they had done it as a kid. I am 100% going to have my children do this. Like, what a great just life character building experience. But I was 36 or 37 when I did my very first build. And it's a really cool program you guys have with the Triangle Business Journal. Can you see me? Oh, I can see it now. to the Triangle Business Journal. I won a 40 under 40 award, which was bananas. And I wish I still was under 40, but I'm not. And part of that program is you go build as a team, 40 people in Raleigh who you've never met, who really want to get out there and make a difference, are brought together. Like, genius idea. We were all very motivated. And I mean, I think that first one was just like a 4 or 5 hour inside build, like that picture right there. I look like a goon. But oh my gosh, it was so funny to be side by side doing something out of your comfort zone that's a little physical, and be supported. Like, I was like, I don't know how to hammer this nail, and oh, let me show you. Everybody was just kind of pitching in, oh, I really am not comfortable with this, but you can do this. And I think that was kind of it. I right away was like, well, I felt so bonded to those people I did it side by side with too. I'm like, I want my office to do this. And right away, so many people in my office were like, well, we've done it before. We've been needing a chance to do it again. So then we did a team build. And then throughout the last couple of years, I've just been like, I need to do something today to get out of my comfort zone. And I'll just sign up for different builds. But then the women's build thing came. I had never heard of anything like that, because a lot of times there are many women always, but there are usually more men than women. And it was really cool to get to do that side by side with women too. My first build too was about 6 months after I got separated. So I was actually a single mom for the very first time in my life, living alone. So it was kind of a weird time too, where I was extra valuing having a home for my kids, like having a safe place that I could call my own. Because it was my very first little townhouse that I bought on my own. And getting to meet the women, and it was mainly women, I think, on the different builds, who were getting the opportunity to give their kids their very first home, extra hit home to me. On top of actually being empowered to be capable to fix some stuff in my own home. Like, there was something really neat. It was such a selfish experience, to go do this thing all day and come home having learned hey, I can fix my own wall. I can fix my own door. I don't need no man for that. Like, it was really, really neat. So it has, there are lots of other causes out there that are super important, but this one will always be the one that I want to bring everyone else along with me. I brought my mom out last year to the very first build. Like, I've met some of my Instagram friends for the very first time out on builds. Like, I'm like, come on, you got to do this with me. And it's just, you can't not do it at the end of the day, be smiling ear to ear and feeling really, really good. So it's been life-changing for me.
I love that. Your story always inspires me, because I think it's what I hear the most from a lot of women, that, and myself included, is that, very few of us learn how to do these things on our own, right? And we're always looking for somebody to come and help us or teach us. And every time I'm out on a build site, prior to March of this year, and I meet women who are, getting a chance to learn how to, there's like a proper way to hammer a nail. There's a proper way to do some of these things. There's, it's not so scary after all. And then you have somebody who's there to support you and to show you, and you're doing it for somebody else. You're helping them literally build a new life. I mean, that is it's like double empowering. You can watch a YouTube video of how to change a light bulb or a socket or something, but to be able to physically come out to a build site and do it, I think is like one of the best things about Habitat. And I'm so glad that you had that experience, and that you're sharing it with other women in the community, and letting them know that this is a safe place for them to come and learn, but also support the dreams of others. Community. Greta, you're on mute.
I don't know how I keep doing that. Is that better?
Yes,
but no, I just
good.
want to, people always are like, but no, for real, I don't know how to hammer. And I'm like, I'm telling you, they will show you and make you feel really good about it. So if I can emphasize anything, it's like, first of all, putting yourself out of your comfort zone, I find really important anyway. Like, I'm telling you, I know it sounds scary, but I'll do it with you. Ashley will do it with you.
Oh yeah.
Like, you have pink hard hats. It's kind of fun. but like they'll find something for you that you feel comfortable doing and make sure you feel very safe doing it. And there's just something really cool about that. So,
and
oh, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, and you know, if you get to build enough like Greta does, eventually you get all of the fun equipment like the saw and the drill like you did last year.
I get to use the power tools, but then it actually started, like, it actually really helped my now current marriage, because we started doing building projects together, and I was like, I can do this. And I started paying a lot more attention to, hey, let me see how this works. So in case next time I'm out on a build site, I can offer to help with that. Like, it's really, I'm telling you ladies, there's something about power tools that is very empowering. So it's pretty cool.
It's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your story. I think, you know, for folks who are curious kind of what's going on with Habitat, especially this year, just to give some kind of updates, and then we can talk about what Women Build is going to look like. You know, despite having to shut down our restores and our build sites temporarily back in March, we're still able to close on multiple homes in the spring and continue to build the summer into the fall. So we've still had home buyers be able to close on their homes and move into their homes. In fact, our 2 Women Build homes from last fall, both homeowners are single mothers, and they, eerily enough, moved into their homes the week that everything shut down. So when we dedicated their homes this spring, they really talked about the fact that in a time where this was suddenly they're having to teach their children, you know, set their children up with virtual learning. Suddenly they're trying to figure out working from home and kind of all of those things. They had a safe, affordable home to call their own that weekend. And even in the dedication, one of the homeowners was laughing because she gave us a tour of her home and she said, I'm sorry it's not decorated, but Home Goods isn't open right now. So I'm sure she has decorated her home by now, but she, you know, was just so thankful to have a place that was safe and, you know, affordable and accessible for her family during this tumultuous time. And that's really been something we've taken a lot of pride in. We also just recently participated in this year's Triangle Parade of Homes. We were not judged, but we had 3 homes in our Johnson Place neighborhood in Garner that we featured in various stages of construction. And this particular neighborhood, when it's complete, the last home's being built right now, it will have 16 Habitat homes in this one neighborhood. And when I tell you that I had, you know, we had all sorts of people from the community come out, but when I had one particular person who came out and said, if you hadn't told me, if I didn't know that this was a Habitat neighborhood, I wouldn't know this was a Habitat neighborhood because of just, you know, the homes are so beautiful and so well kept and the neighborhood is so great. And all the kids were just running around, riding their bicycles down the hill, you know, just goofing off. And it was just awesome to see that these kids are getting this amazing neighborhood to grow up in together. And then finally, our restores are open. So we are very excited to be able to do that, to take donations, as well as being able to offer up, you know, the goods that are donated and being sold in the restores. Our restore teams and the managers have had a lot of fun putting together all of these ideas of DIY projects at home. One of the restores started taking old windows and making greenhouses out of it. And of course, for people who need desks and things like that, they've been doing a really good job of highlighting what's available for folks at an affordable price. And knowing that if you purchase something in the restore, all of that money goes back into helping us build homes. So it's a win-win for sure. So while we're on the topic, you know, with COVID-19, how it's impacting our home buyers, we made it a priority here at Habitat that as soon as we were able to have our home buyers back out on the build site, we brought them back out. For those of you who don't know, any home buyer who's going through the Habitat program has to put in at least 200 hours of sweat equity to purchase their home. So it was paramount that we got them back on the build site as soon as possible so they could continue those hours and get into their home as soon as possible. But we don't have volunteers on the build site right now due to safety reasons. And so building these homes is taking a lot longer. Our volunteers, those of you on this call, in a normal year, you would help us keep this build moving along at a very swift pace. And unfortunately, without those sheer numbers behind it, our homes are taking a little bit longer. And we've also had to outsource a lot of the work and are subcontracted in, which makes them unfortunately more expensive to build. We're also missing our volunteers. The energy that the volunteers bring out to the build site, the joy that our construction team, they get out of seeing you learn how to nail something or learn how to cut wood with a saw or, you know, whatever it is like, that's one of the things they love the most. And so the build sites are super quiet. They're, you know, they're getting the work done, but it's just not the same. And then, you know, we're not really sure what the long-term ramifications are going to be. You know, it's October, it's almost November. You know, North Carolina's case counts are going up. You know, everybody's kind of scrambling to navigate this with learning from home and offices shutting down and working from home and all of that. And so I think we are not really sure what the long-term ramifications are going to be. So far, our homeowners have continued to pay their mortgages, but you know, I think time will tell, and we're going to see what that need will be very soon, or at least in the next couple of months. I would think for sure, definitely early in 2021. So this is the fun part, is how we can help those folks, how we can come together even though we're physically apart. And if you see in this photo, I don't know if you could see it, but in the back, there's Gretta with her pink hard hat, her name tag on her hard hat, working the power tools last year. You don't even look like you're hot.
Oh my God, it was so hot. But like, this was fun because I actually was showing other people. People were, I don't know, not many people asked me how to use a power tool. So it was a really cool experience for me to then be able to pass that on. And then we sit back there and clap for each other. Like, look at that lady clapping back there. Like, yeah,
it's the best.
It's the most feel-good day I can think of.
It was the best. And so, you know, we are sad that we can't come out and build together, but we have some plans to connect everybody virtually. So we have set up a Facebook group where it's private. So it is a safe place for you to come and ask questions, connect with other women, share your wins. You know, we want to connect with you and be excited for you, whether that's like a DIY project you've done at home, or it's a fundraising achievement, you know, that you hit and you are so excited. Like, we want you to be a part of that community and feel connected and supported and encouraged by all of these women, because until we can physically meet in person, you know, we want to get to know you virtually. And so that's the best way we can do that. And, you know, we hope that you'll join us that way. We're also going to host some one-on-one conversations and some panels with some community leaders. We have some great folks that are going to join us for these conversations to talk about all sorts of things, from advocacy and affordable housing to what it's like to be, you know, a C-suite executive in a male-dominated industry, you know, run the gamut. We feel like Women Build is an opportunity not just for us to encourage one another, but for us to learn from one another, and not only just on the build site, but you know, in our lives. I know Gretta is a big personal growth fan, as am I. We're both champions and super nerds about, you know, how to do better, be better, how to grow. And so we want to be able to give you all access to that with folks that are, you know, just down the street here in Raleigh. So stay tuned for more of that information. We're also going to do some virtual meet and greets here at Habitat. We call it Nails and Ales, although you can bring any beverage of choice, any food of choice. And they're super casual, super fun. We have some icebreakers and some games that we play, and it literally is just an opportunity to get to know one another in a very no pressure situation. So we'll have a handful of those as well. We'll also be here to cheer you on and support you through your fundraising efforts. And we're also going to provide some regular video and live stream updates as well. So the builds are happening right now. We have 2 homes that we're building for Women Build. They're both 2-story homes, which is not always the case. Sometimes we have, you know, folks that, you know, we don't get to do 2-story homes all the time. So it's nice to have that opportunity. And the walls have gone up, and we're actually flying in the trusses next week, which means we're putting the roof on. So I'm going to go out there with my phone and live stream it, and you'll get to see it happen in real time like you would if you were out on the build site. It's probably one of the coolest things. It's also terrifying to watch them fly these trusses in, but it is one of the coolest things to see to see a roof, a literal roof that you're helping build go on a house, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to see if the video, I have a quick tour. I'm going to see if it works. There we go. It's like being on a build site.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chris is the best. We love Chris. He's so great. He's one of our superintendents, and hopefully y'all will get a chance to meet him in person in the spring when we are physically all together again, hopefully. So talk about kind of how we're going to build together virtually. Fundraising 101, the best way to get started is to register. We will send you out an email with all of the links and everything. It's super easy to do. There is no registration or donation requirement, so anybody can register. We do encourage you to start your fundraising with a donation to yourself of some amount, but you are welcome to register on your own to participate as well. Personalizing your website is literally the best way for folks to support you. If they know why this is meaningful to you, what you're excited about, who you get to support, they're going to be really excited with you. And so having your website feel personal, feel real, genuine to who you are as a person will really help folks who are reading about your efforts want to be part of it. And then sharing it. Literally tell everybody, scream it from the rooftops, send it an email, post it on social media, wherever you can connect with somebody, let them know that this is something you're a part of. Encourage them to join you. As Gretta said, like she's gotten a lot of people to join her over the years in her efforts with Women Build. And so it can be more fun with more people, family, friends, coworkers, you know, folks in your church, in your, you know, community groups, you know, bring them together. The more that we can do together, the bigger impact we can have.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say this, but you guys who have fundraised before with Habitat may agree and have found this, but the first time I did it, sorry, I'm getting slacks. The first time I did it, I was shocked at how many people were like, yes, yes, yes. I love Habitat. My dad loved Habitat. I did it. It's one of my favorite memories. Like, it was one of the easiest, it probably was the easiest thing I've ever had to fundraise, because I'm like, oh, okay, I love dogs and I love kids and I love this, but that's not for everybody, because they might not have dogs or they might not have kids. Everybody appreciates having a home and a roof over their head, and has had one of these experiences and loved it. So for me, it was so easy because it touched everybody. So it was easy. It was easy.
Were you surprised at how many folks were like, was there anybody in your life that you didn't realize had a connection to Habitat or had been involved in Habitat, that when you started telling them about this, they were like, oh yeah, I love Habitat?
Definitely lots of people in the office. But I mean, they challenged us through that 40 Under 40 Triangle Business Journal to fundraise against each other too, which that was really fun. We had a 6 or 8 weeks and we won some prizes, but it was all fun. And I'm very competitive, and I think I won or came in second. But I just couldn't believe how many people came out of the woodwork and were like, I love Habitat. And just, yeah, people in here that I have worked alongside forever and had no idea. Dr. Davis is one of the big ones. He's like, I've done 100 builds or something. I'm like, what? I had no idea. And everyone has such positive memories about it and it's a fun day. So it's not, yes, it's hard work, but you guys make it really fun. A lot of times there's music and there's, some lunch and things like it's truly an experience. So a lot of people have those really fond memories, and that just made it a lot easier.
That's awesome. And that's our goal. I mean, we want it to be fun. It is hard work when we're out on the build site. Fundraising is hard work. It's not easy, but we want it to be fun. I mean, this is an exciting thing that folks are doing. It's meaningful. It's powerful. It's literally making a difference in the lives of others. I mean, physically, yeah. You are helping raise money, and then you're out on the build site and you're literally putting up walls that someone is going to make future memories in. I mean, there are very few ways that you can have a direct impact on somebody's future, and this is one of them. So it's hard to say no, that's for sure. It's hard to say no. And we're here, we're here to be helpful, both Gretta and I. My job as Director of Corporate Relations, I fundraise for a living. So I want to be helpful to you. There is no question too small, too silly. Like, every question is a good question. We have plenty of resources for you all. A lot of them can be found on the Women Build website. But if you have specific questions, if you are looking for, help writing an email or a text message or a Facebook post, like, we will provide all of that for you. We want this to be enjoyable. We want you to finish out Women Build with us and be like, this was awesome. I want to do this again. And so we want to take away as many, as I like to say, thanks to Atomic Habits. If you haven't read Atomic Habits, it's a great book. We want to take away as many friction points as possible. Like, we want to make this as easy as like making a cup of tea or brushing your teeth or whatever other habit you have going on in your life. We want to make that possible for you. So we're here to help. In our Facebook group, I know we keep talking about it, but like, that is going to be such a hub of energy and connection and support and resources. And so we will be able to come together virtually that way. You saw the video with Chris giving us kind of a tour of one of the houses that's part of Women Build this year. I'll be sending lots of photo updates and video updates, and we'll be sharing conversations with those home buyers who are going to be moving into those homes. So all of that stuff is going to live within the Facebook group. And so we want you to be part of it. So you can see, you might get sick of me posting photos, but I'm going to keep you updated as we go, so you can see just how quickly these homes get built with your support. So that's how we're going to do it.
I love the Facebook.
That was your idea, and I love it.
Well, maybe you're not on Facebook, and if so, I get it, and I'm sorry, like, it's not perfect, but their whole group model that they've built is really a great, easy way to stay connected with people. That's not like a whole separate forum that feels a lot colder and impersonal. So as women, and it being private, we get to stay in there and share and help each other and hey, we're all local. So I just think it's such a benefit, like when we can't get out right now and truly meet each other. Like, I really like having these private groups that get to know some about my life. And I think that this could really be a great place for one of them. So I'm excited to connect with you guys on there. And, you know, they're only as good as the amount of engagement and interaction you do. So please feel free. Like, you've done a great job in there. I will do better. But I really hope when we start getting some ideas, like I want to bounce ideas off people for fundraising. And it's been a while since I've done this. And there's lots of important things out there right now. I get it. But this is a very important one too. And I'm going to spend a lot of time in there.
I'm excited. I'm excited to get to know everybody. I'm excited to get to know all of you. I'm excited to connect. I think that that's, you know, it was such a great idea, Gretta, to connect with everybody this way. I think we all can agree that our inboxes have turned into these black holes of emails and updates and, you know, sales and promo codes. Yeah. And so, you know, we didn't want to lose out on the excitement. And we also didn't want you to feel burdened by it, you know, like checking your email and reading an email. And the nice thing about a Facebook group is that you can opt into participating on your own time. You know, I'm a big, like, I probably shouldn't do this, probably a bad habit, but like I lay in bed at night and that's when I do my like full, you know, scrolling situation. And I get to catch up on everything. You know, that's my like debrief of the day of what's going on. I know some people use their lunch breaks, you know, whatever works for you, but you get to do it on your own time. And who knows, like maybe make some friends. I mean, that's how Gretta and I got connected, was through social media. And so, you know, it'll be a great way to connect with other women, and you just never know what's going to come out of it. So I'm excited, and I hope you all will join us in there. Before we talk about the other fun stuff, there's always going to be a question of why women build. I get this question a lot outside of the, you know, women in construction, women doing home improvement projects, you know, kind of this male dominated industry that construction tends to be. And so I'm a big data person, and I like to learn kind of what this means specifically to our sisters, our fellow women. So as I said before, you know, 1 in 4 families in Wake County do not have access to safe, affordable housing. So if we were to take this group of women on this call right now and did the math out, there would be potentially a handful of us who didn't have access to safe and affordable housing. And that is a crisis. That is a problem that Habitat's trying to fix. It's also harder for women to become homeowners than it is for men in similar situations. And yet, single women are currently outpacing single men when it comes to homeownership, which doesn't surprise me because I have plenty of guy friends who are single or maybe now are in relationships and only then have decided to pursue homeownership. I have so many single female friends who have bought their own homes, you know, started their own journeys. And so it doesn't surprise me, but it also really bothers me that it's harder for us to become homeowners. Women Build itself is a program, us coming together and doing this together, fundraising, sharing our stories, coming out and building when we can, is going to help more of our sisters grow their wealth and independence. Buying a home, purchasing a home is one of the best ways to invest in your future, invest in the future of your children. There are all sorts of studies that talk about what it means and the impact on education, on health. You know, there are lots of things that I'll share with you guys. I won't bore you with the details right now, but owning a home it has a ripple effect on so many pieces of somebody's life and the future opportunities for their children. And also, got to move the needle on gender equality. Like, pay gap still exists. We're still, you know, in situations where we are often further behind than our male peers, and this will help bridge that gap. So the more that we can come together, the more that we can empower one another, we can share each other's stories, we can talk about the frustrations and the pain points that we have, and the more that we can help one another in homeownership, the better off we all are. And so with that, I'm going to unveil this year's t-shirt, which the t-shirts are always super popular. This year, on that note, our theme is
Woohoo!
lifting as we rise, which is a quote that I felt really connected to because I feel like it just exemplifies what Women Build is. You know, as we all kind of rise, we lift others with us. Habitat, we like to say that we're a hand up, not a hand out in what we do. Our homeowners, you know, they pay an affordable mortgage, they do their sweat equity. You know, we don't give out homes for free. And so this just had so many meaningful layers to it. Also want to share that the t-shirts were designed by Kristen King of CK Creations here in Raleigh. You've probably seen a lot of her work. She does a lot of the triangle pop-ups. And so if you are a follower of hers on Instagram or you've connected with her at one of the pop-ups, give her a shout out. She did an amazing job on our t-shirts. They're probably the most Wake County focused custom t-shirts we've probably ever done for Women Build.
They're beautiful.
They're so cute.
I know we talked about them, but I haven't gotten a chance to see like the final thing, and I'm so excited. Like, that is beautiful.
Yeah, and we haven't shared it. Literally, you all on this call, I just got the design this morning. So you all are first to see what we are rolling out this year. And they are going to be printed by our friends at Basics in downtown Raleigh, which is a women-owned and operated branding company here. They support a lot of different organizations in the area, and we're excited to partner with them and excited to support women and women in business locally here. So,
and like Courtney just said, they're like the most comfortable too.
Yes.
So they do have the highest quality stuff. So that's awesome.
We are, you know, we know how important it is. We want you to wear the shirt. We want it to be comfortable. So we made sure, you know, I went down and I literally like played with all the fabrics and looked at them all and looked at the options. I want to make sure that you want to wear this t-shirt forever. So we're super excited. So we're going to offer you guys some incentives as participating, because we want to celebrate every time you hit a goal. Once you register, or after you register, you'll get mailed this logo, the t-shirt logo, on a decal that you can put on water bottles, on your laptops, hang it on your fridge, you know, whatever gives you opportunity to stay, you know, be motivated and inspired. Once you raise $25 or surpass $25, you'll get an order form to order your t-shirt. And we'll also have Habitat water bottles and some other fun surprises at different levels. So we'll be sending out a note kind of sharing those incentives. We're also going to have some surprises for our top fundraisers and the top fundraising team. So if you want to get a group of women together and fundraise together, it's always more fun with friends. Greta can tell you that. We'll have a really fun surprise for the team that raises the most. Like I said earlier, we're going to do some networking opportunities, connect with one another virtually and digitally. You have an opportunity to hopefully, once we can do this safely in person, get together and celebrate together in person and connect with one another that way. And of course, building together once it's safe to do so. I promise we will be building, whether it's in 2021 or 2020, whatever it is, it will happen. Say it.
We're doing it this spring.
We're doing it. And, you know, at that point, the homes that you're helping to build now will be completed. Those homeowner families will be moved in. So you will actually be making an impact, not just on these two families, but on other families as well. So we're actually getting double the impact that we normally get every year. So I'm excited. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I feel like you and I talked about this, like Sola. I love Sola Coffee. Everybody does in Raleigh. And we've been involved with their 5K every year. And this was the first year they had to do it virtually. They raised almost double this year, you know, and I loved hearing that. It's like people got more creative, but felt more, you know, invested than ever and wanting to continue this tradition. So I'm actually more excited in a lot of ways. Like, I love the build part, but I really feel like we get the opportunity to do this for longer, you know, and I think we can make more of an impact, like not only physically out there, but now, like, I want to be able to look at that house and be like, hey, I paid for those windows, or I don't know, like, I'm really excited to get more creative than I ever have been this year.
And I think that's the kind of the fun part, right? It's like we're making lemonades out of lemon. And this is
Mhm.
the opportunity for us to kind of be flexible and have fun and be creative in a way because we can't be out on the build site, right? So,
Yeah.
one of the things that I love about being on the build site is that we get to learn from one another in these really intense and sometimes emotional situations, but we also don't necessarily get enough time to really have a meaningful conversation with one another. And so a lot of women come back to Women Build year over year because that's like their connecting point. They get to reconnect with one another. I'm excited about connecting now and having those relations so that when we're out on the build site, like I already know half the people in this room and their favorite color and things that are exciting to them and what they did in quarantine, and get that opportunity to like I'm going out and hanging out with friends on the build site, and that I'm really excited about.
I agree. The t-shirts are beautiful. Thank you.
Well, thank you for the idea. This is Gretta's idea of connecting with Kristen. She's so talented. She was just amazing. And I'm super excited to have this like super local opportunity. That's great.
Yeah.
And with women.
Yep. Good job.
Well, thank you. So now, before we wrap up for the day, we want to give you all an opportunity to ask any questions. You can submit those questions into the chat box, and we'll give everybody a couple of minutes. If they have any questions, I have a handful here that folks have sent in via email. So while you're submitting your questions, I'll read off a couple of them. Okay, so the first question is, are there any restrictions once we're able to build in terms of age? That's a great question. So on our build sites, to build on your own, once we're able to do so safely, you have to be 18 or older. If you have children that are 16 or older, they can come out and build, but they have to build with an adult. So, that's just a safety thing with our build sites, but there are other ways to get younger children involved. If you have kids at home, we have these things called baffles. They're basically these cardboard, I don't know how to describe them. They're like these cardboard slabs that go into the attic and help protect the cotton insulation. And a lot of our youth groups actually decorate them. They paint them with like words of affirmation and prayers, and some of them are so beautiful that we don't even put them in houses. We just have them on display because they're just beautiful works of art. But we can absolutely get your family set up with a baffle project if you would like to engage some of the younger ones as part of this build this year. So we could definitely do that as well. Okay, next question. Gretta, I'm going to ask you this one.
Oh boy.
Okay, you ready? What has been the biggest challenge in fundraising in the past for you? I can tell you my story, but I'm curious to know if there's anything. I mean, it sounds like you had a really easy fundraising experience, but I wonder if there's any challenges you could share.
I mean, I guess I shouldn't have made it sound that easy. I don't think fundraising is ever easy. Like, I am not a very direct person, surprisingly. So it's difficult for me to be what I think is pushy. And I know that there are a million other things that are someone else's thing. So like, just because this is my thing, I get it. You don't have to make it your thing. But so that has been difficult for me. I have tried to be more selective of what I ask my friends and family for. Like, knowing that this is coming, I'm like, all right, I'm not going to ask them to participate in every single little thing. But I usually try, and I think we were going to talk about this somewhat, how I raised all that. I think I raised $4,000 the first go round I tried. And that, don't hold me to that ever again, because that was way different. But I was like, well, even if someone has no idea what Habitat is or doesn't care, I came up with like, I'm going to put together raffles and I'm going to sell raffle tickets,
I love
and
that.
I mean, hey, they're going to get something not related to Habitat at all. So I just went around to the women, mainly friends that I had in the area who maybe worked at a business or owned a business. And I'm like, is there anything you can donate to Habitat that therefore I'm going to raffle off, and it's a little different buying a raffle ticket versus donating. So I feel like that's how I circumvented the, hey, I don't have money to donate, but hey, you might win this really cool local gift card to X. And I couldn't believe how many businesses were super generous with that. They're like, sure, here's a $50 dollar basket of coffee, you know, and whatever. And then I just put a bunch of them together and I made these fabulous, like I wanted all of them, but it was a lot easier to sell a $10 raffle ticket to something and then get to give it away. Like that was a lot of fun and I didn't have to pay for any of the stuff. So that I'm going to try to do something like that possibly again. Because it's been a while. I haven't done that to anyone. So maybe I'll get to do that again. But I don't know. That's a hard one. It really depends. Like, Ashley, you're the expert and you've always you're very creative when it comes, like, you're usually like, I'll do something embarrassing if you donate to this. Or I'm like, that's what level I need to get to get creative.
Well, I can tell you that in my experience, because personally, long before I came to Habitat, I've done fundraising for a lot of different causes. And I think that, everybody has something that resonates with them differently. Like I know that my family, if I tell them the story about a homebuyer family and, like watching, I can share with all of you on this call, out at Parade of Homes, we have a home buyer, Tabitha, was purchasing the last home of that neighborhood. And while we were out at Parade of Homes, she brought her kids out so they could pick out their bedrooms. And so literally they're running around the house, like the three of them fighting over who gets what bedroom and which window they want. And then they took Sharpies and they wrote their names on the boards inside, which they'll never see, right? They're going to be behind sheetrock and everything. I tell that story and it's like people are just willing to give because it's human, right? This is a real tangible thing. Some people really want to know where their donations are going and what it supports. Some people are very literal. So I could say to them, $50 pays for the mailbox. And they're like, great, I want to buy the mailbox. So I think just kind of knowing your audience, knowing your family and your friends and your coworkers and the people in your life and what sparks to them. I have a friend, in the embarrassing side who is more than happy to support me anytime I want to do something crazy or ridiculous because he just thinks it's funny to, encourage me to do that. And I can count on him for that, every year when I'm fundraising, I can say, if you donate this, I'll do this. And so, I think your people the best, your community the best, what's going to resonate with them. Sometimes it just takes that moment of thinking like, okay, maybe one approach to one group is going to be different to another, but that's where you're going to have the most impact. And I think sometimes I'm surprised. Like I'll send out an email to people that I haven't talked to for years. And like you said earlier, they have a connection to Habitat and they are so willing to donate and support because, I asked. That's the number one thing I can share with everybody is people can't say no. It's an automatic no if you don't ask, but it's potentially a yes if you ask. And that, gets you way more results for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what people come up with. I love the gift basket idea too, because these homes are going to be hopefully finished around the holidays. So we can put together some fun, home for the holidays-esque copy and, writing and theming and things like that for you all to use as you're reaching out to people to be like, it's the holidays. This is a way to give back to people and help them get in their homes for the holidays, which is exciting.
Yeah, that was a good one. It made it super simple. You just, I can't even remember what software I used, but I just needed to make it really easy for someone to buy a $5 or $10 raffle ticket online, buy multiple ones, and $5 or $10 doesn't sound like a lot until you add it up. And very quickly it became $4,000. And I think I had like 3 really nice baskets of donated stuff. So I'm sure someone who does a service or has a product that would be, it's a little different to donate something and then you could raffle off. So that worked really well for me.
That's awesome. I've also seen some folks who are really talented at gift wrapping, if that's part of your holiday plans. I've seen people I've done it where I've offered to gift wrap for people for donations because there's a lot of people who do not like to wrap anything. I'm assuming you're one of those people, Gretta.
Why does gift wrapping hurt your back so much? I just need every time I get everything set up, I put on a movie I want to watch and 10 minutes in, I'm like, it just, there's some sort of the bending over and the arm thing. So yeah, I'm too old. I need,
there's no core workout for how to gift wrap properly. So
I want to build a house, but I don't want to gift wrap.
So see, perfect example of, you know, having somebody, you know, if anybody's listening on this call, you can send Gretta a note and say, for a donation, I'll, for Women Build, I'll gift wrap all of your stuff for you this holiday. So
I'll donate to you.
There's an idea right there. So that's all the questions we've got today. It sounds like folks are really excited and interested and ready to register. And so, Gretta, before we close out, is there anything you want to share with everybody?
I was going to say, I probably shouldn't be one of the ones asking the questions.
No, you can ask the question. Yeah,
just
go for
because
it.
I've been getting this a little bit over the last night. People who are going on to register and they're like, I see teams. What's the benefit of me registering with a team or as a solo person? Like, can you advise on what people should do? Like, and first of all, y'all could join my team if you want. You're more than welcome. I'm figuring this out too, but I just said, if anyone wants to join Team Amelia, you certainly can, but I don't know the benefit of registering solo or a team.
So it just depends on the comfort level. You know, some folks are totally comfortable with fundraising to a fundraising goal on their own. Other folks just want to do it collaboratively with a team. You know, as a team, you potentially have the opportunity to have a bigger impact, to raise more funds together, to have folks to bounce ideas off of each other. But we will have, you know, top fundraising spots for both individuals and teams. So it really just depends on your comfort level. If you're the kind of person where this is new to you and you know, you want some built-in support, joining a team, starting a team on your own, getting people together is really fun. If you're somebody you're like, I got this, I've done this before, I'm super excited, I'm just gonna run with it, totally cool too. There's no right or wrong way. I think we want to give people the opportunity to have, you know, access that gives them that comfort. It's the same thing with the build. Some people come out in groups, and then we have people who come out just by themselves, literally show up, they don't know anybody, and they're just super excited to make friends and make a difference. So whatever speaks to you, we are happy to support and encourage you in that way. But that's a great question.
Yeah, okay, good. That was my only question for right now.
Well, if you have more questions,
great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
If anybody has any more questions, you are welcome to connect with us on our website. If you go to habitatwake.org/womenbuild, you find all of the resources, a link to our Facebook group. You can also send me an email. My contact info is on there. There's no silly questions. Everything's up for grabs. You know, whether you feel comfortable one-on-one having a conversation or you just want to connect with us on Facebook, please do. We hope you'll register. We hope you'll join us. We're going to have so much fun this year. I cannot wait. And then I cannot wait to see all of you in person in the spring. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And we're going to have great t-shirts.
Yes. So. Yes. Which is really, you know, next to helping put people into homes, that's the next best thing. Home ownership, t-shirts.
Yep. And hey, this is a workout. I always try to think about it like that too.
Yes.
So we might not be able to get out there and have our big workout until the spring, but you're keeping me motivated to find some home projects and keep this whole thing going. And I'm so glad, because I'm telling you, it's really needed and it feels really good. So thank you for keeping it going.
Well, we're so excited to have you, Gretta. We're so excited to have all of you on this call. Thank you for giving us your time and your energy today. I know that this is lunchtime. You're probably all very hungry. So we'll let you get on with the rest of your day, but thank you so much. And we hope to see you in the Facebook group soon.
Yes, see you in there.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.